What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to look back at the best of 2017 in bass music. Been a while since I did one of these. I looked back at 2015 and 16 at the end of 2018. Nice to revisit, I think, what I thought worked at that point and how my opinions and viewpoints and tastes have changed in the time since then. Looking at my yearly favourites of the year in question, so remixes, originals and EPs. Wasn't doing albums back then, I only started doing that I think in 2018. But these videos I think I would call reflection videos, you know, a kind of throwback to past times in bass music. 2017 being a particularly interesting year, as they were the first videos I ever put up on the channel, barring the introduction to the whole channel, and yeah, those were my favourite remixes, EPs and singles of that year. A good year also, I think, because it isn't too long ago, still quite fresh in the memory, I think, and some songs in that time have become classics as well. Question is though, how would I reorder these lists today? Which would be higher, which would be lower, etc. Gonna go remixes, EPs and originals in that order, working up, of course, to the most exciting one. Before I get going here, don't forget to drop your favourites from 2017 in the comments down below. Can be any genre from bass music, and can be EPs, originals, remixes, even albums. May be difficult to remember what came out then, but hopefully the examples I give here will spark a couple of memories for you. Gonna have each list on the screen for you all to see, and gonna talk about them a bit, play a couple of clips, and a playlist of all of the originals and remixes in the description down below. You know how we do, let's go. And by the way, it's top 20 remixes and originals and top 15 EPs, and all of them have special or extra mentions from that year. Okay, starting with the remixes and working from the bottom up. At number 20, we have the AC Slater remix of Before I Go by Grizz. Which I remember being a very fun tune with an amazing bass line. One of those that I'm kind of inclined to leave where it is and just kind of see how it moves with respect to others moving. I'm kind of fine leaving it there. The Nano remix of Waking Up I enjoy a lot, and feel inclined to move up one, especially considering what's directly in front of it, the Will Sparks remix of Mo Bounce by Iggy Azalea. Will Sparks did a really good job on that track, to be fair, and completely refashioned it, but you know, Iggy Azalea. The Brilliant VIP by Don Kong and Carol Tip is very clever and well executed, and yeah, again, feel inclined to move it up one, just one. The Africa VIP by Excision and Dion Timmer. I've kind of realised over time I only really like the progression of each drop and the vocal sample in that tune. Wookie and Benzi with We Like to Fuck That Shit. Well, I mean, that song for me is a classic example of the first drop being incredible and the second drop being not all that, so again, feel inclined to put this one down a bit, maybe out of the top 20 altogether. First drop. Second drop. The Etc. Etc. VIP of Raise Up. Again, one of those where I want to leave it where it is and just see how it moves with respect to others moving. Tiny C remix of With the Flow I remember being a bit cheeky and very detailed, but can't quite remember exactly how it goes, so just gonna have a little listen now. Oh yeah, now I remember. The Starbuck remix of Burn This City Down I do love, and I think I've loved it more over time as well, and feel inclined to move it up a bit here. That savage, gnarly, bombastic Brostep sound, you just can't not love it. Skrillex remix of Humble. Now, I remember actually putting this one so high because I was scared that if I didn't and people were watching and it was one of my first videos, then they wouldn't have kept on watching the channel, or they wouldn't have stuck with Nawtystep as a thing. So in the context of his discography, I do find that song a bit ordinary, and so yeah, that one will go down a few places, I'm sure. Oh my, the J-Smek remix of Little Bit of This, what a throwback. I definitely remember that tune and how weird and quirky and unique it is, and haven't heard anything like it since, so yeah, gonna move that one up a bit. Little bit of this, little bit of that. Dylan Francis remix of Final Boss, again, I think I do really enjoy that one, thinking about it again, and yeah, might move that one up one spot. Now, the Oliverse remix of Afterlife by Charmy. Again, it's one of those, I think, where over time I've realised that the first drop I just prefer so much more than the second. So if we're talking about, you know, holistic track overviews here, then I'm gonna have to move that one down a bit, because yeah, even though the first drop is so, you know, genius even, I would verge on calling it, the second isn't quite up to par in comparison, so yeah, gonna have to move that one down just a bit. The Atramentus VIP of Samir. Now, this tune is fucking good, and I don't think many will have heard it. Not just because Atramentus is quite an unknown producer, but also because this tune got deleted from SoundCloud not long after it was put up. So, yeah, a bit annoying that that happened, but I do have it, so yeah, let's have a little play. Matroda remix of Bad and Bougie, I think I have enjoyed a little bit less over time, not a lot, just got really used to the ideas. Gonna move that one down, maybe a couple. Valentino Khan remix of Swish Swish, I think I've realised more over time how much I love it, and how clever it is, and how well it's put together. So yeah, I think as a redo of the original, just very well done, and I think I will put that higher, especially above the Andy C remix of Speed of Light, which I do love for what it is, but is for me maybe a bit simple. Doesn't venture outside of the comfort of its original idea quite enough, I think. The Eliminate remix of Say Less is very well done and so well cut, but I think in light of what he's put out after that, you know, all of the experimentation, the house, the dubstep, and more, it does just pale in comparison a bit. So, yeah, I think I might move that one down just a bit. The Space Thief remix of Planet Purge, I think, is a perfect placement at number 2. Very impactful and full-on, and really leaves a mark. And yeah, a shame that he or she or they haven't released a lot or near anything after that, but I've heard a return is near, so here's hoping. And also perfect for number 2 because in front of it, the Sultan remix of Move That Body. That remix is for me the best we've heard Sultan. Masterful production and one of the best second drop changes I've ever heard. So yeah, if you're yet to hear it, check it out. It is incredible. Just gonna play a bit of the Space Thief though to give you a little taste of what it's like.
Long time coming. I'm gonna rip your fucking guts out, smear them all over your face.
And so here is the revised version. We have Sultan remaining at number 1, Space Thief at number 2, we have Valentino Khan moving up to number 3, Eliminate down to 4, Andy C down, or was he up? Atramentus up to 6, J-Smek and Dylan Francis up as well. Oliverse, I think, has still gone up, even though I was thinking of putting it down, but it's because of the movement of everything else here. Matroda down into 11, Tiny C pretty much the same, Nano and Don Kong and Carol Tip have moved up significantly, etc, etc. AC Slater, Africa VIP, pretty much the same. Same with Will Sparks as well, and a couple of new additions here. The Wax Motif remix of Fly Kicks, which is lovely. A lovely little house tune, and the Riot remix of Love Never Dies, which is probably my favourite tune by them. Taken out the Wookie and Benzi track, We Like to Fuck That Shit, and the remix of Humble by Skrillex, which, I mean, yeah, over time I've just realised I don't enjoy it as much as I thought I did. Okay, moving on to the EPs now. Zabor Prism at number 15. Yeah, a good EP from what I remember, very sharp and tidy and together, and which I think was a good placement there. Gonna leave it around there. Auspex by Dusty Cloud is a very good EP, one of those where you just get 3 tunes, but each one has something very good about it. Levitate and McIntyre with Omni. I remember the chemistry between producer and rapper being very strong here, but not a lot of memorable material on offer, so maybe might move that one down one. Who knows? Who knows? We shall see. Interlude by Glitter Soda, my word. What a throwback. I remember this one having a good amount of variation to it, and I also remember it being a very good first impression because I think that was the first I'd heard of his music, now called Glitcher. Yeah, I think, again, I will leave that one there for now. Game Time by Krimmer was good, but I do remember thinking it's just not on the level of his Playtime EP from the year before. 2016, so maybe over time, yeah, I've realised I wasn't into it all that much, just loved that it was from him. But yeah, might move that one down just a bit. Rally the Troops by Temanite and Sona. Okay, this EP I do love because it's kind of a recognition from them of how much chemistry they have, again, between producer and vocalist. So the fact they did a whole EP together was just so good. Not his best production, Temanite, I would have to say, but musicality and ideas are still fantastic. So yeah, it is really good, and Sona's voice throughout is again fantastic. So might move it up just a bit here. Jaded by Drezzo, I think I've enjoyed more over time in the context of his discography as well. Before, I fell prey to weighing it up against his best stuff before that. But now, having heard everything from him so far, I think a couple of the tracks here do rank alongside his best for sure. So yeah, that EP I might move up a bit. Malignant by Mastodon, again, a lot of very solid material in there. One that I'm inclined to move up again just because, or just as a precursor for what was to follow, and also because he was so unbelievably young at this point, you know, 17 or something like that. So yeah, Malignant might move up a bit. Persistence by Whipped Cream, I remember loving originally for the ideas, and I still think that. But I heard it again a couple of months ago, I think, and the production is just a bit dated. Hasn't really held up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Still a good EP, but I might put it down a bit here. Bloodbath by Jarvis, another really solid EP here. A lot of Brostep material, but some good experimentation here as well from him. Maybe my favourite EP from him ever, so one that I think I will leave in this spot. Graphite and E-Craze with Get Crunk I do like, and I think it has a lot going for it. But I heard it again the other day, not that long ago at all, and yeah, a bit dated again, this time in the ideas as opposed to the production. So yeah, not a lot there that I remember enjoying now. Not sure why I put it in number 5. It is good, but not quite as memorable as I'd imagine. Throwback by Virtual Riot is one that isn't one of his best for me, and I think I've kind of realised that more over time as his production and ideas have got better. The production is amazing here, and that is what will keep it in the top 4 here, but I think it's a mixed bag in terms of the ideas. You know, you have some amazing ones, then a couple that are just quite flat in comparison. So on the production alone, as I said, I'm going to keep it there in 4th, but I wouldn't really feel an inclination to put it up on the ideas front. The Mood Swing is one of the most out there and freakish EPs I've ever heard in bass music. Just so creative and off the wall, inventive and weird in a good way, you know, the best way possible, and inclined to move it in front of Zomboy here, Rotten Roll Part 1, which again, like Virtual Riot, amazing production quality, but the ideas are just nowhere near his best. There are some good ones there, but my word, some of them do fall flat. And so, yeah, might put Mike Savello in 2 and Zomboy in 3. And at number 1, no budging on that, Blueprint by Dr. Ozzy. His best EP for me, and one of the best EPs I've ever heard in modern dubstep music. So yeah, just amazing as a collection of ideas, and the production is fantastic. So yeah, that is my number 1, and you ain't gonna change my mind. And so here we have the revised list. At number 1, Dr. Ozzy keeps his place. Mike Savello jumps into number 2. Zomboy drops into number 3. Virtual Riot stays at number 4. Drezzo leaps up quite a few places into number 5. Jarvis keeps his place at number 6. Mastodon goes up to number 7. Temanite and Sona up to number 8. And Dusty Cloud also goes up quite a few places into number 9. Whipped Cream down a few into number 10, but still in the top 10, which I think is commendable. Graphite and E-Craze down to 11, but still in that good spot, just outside the top 10. And the bottom 4, 12 to 15, is, I think, the same as what it was before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is identical to what it was before, and so much so that I'm not including or bringing in either of the extra or special mentions either. That is Cadaversaurus by Midnight Tyrannosaurus, and Cadaver and Samurai by Substance. And finally, here we go, the big one, my top originals or singles from 2017. Here we go. Again, working from the bottom up. Number 20, Helix by Fatal. Fuck, such a fucking slapper. Massive, massive tune. Would I move it up? I'm not sure. Would I move it down? I'm also not sure. So maybe leave it there. Transmissions by Social Kid. I have realised over time just how much I love it and how clever I find it in terms of the ideas and the whole construction of it as a tune. So yeah, might move that one up a bit, you know? Fire Against Fire by Bones Noise. Fuck. What a throwback. This is one of the wildest dubstep tunes I've ever heard. Blew me away, knocked me off my seat, and fuck, I'm just gonna play it because it's so fucking good. I want you all to hear it. Oh, it's so mad. Jaded by Drezzo, yeah, I would probably keep that there. Not much fussing on that front. Big Bass by Leon Lauer. Now, this is a banger. Full-on, unadulterated, smacking you in the face, house, just, yeah, like a bulldozer kind of thing. Especially good, I think, this one, because he usually makes quite chill and low-key music, but he really turned up for this one. Signal by G. Jones is one that I think I've grown to appreciate more over time in the context of his discography and whatnot. It's got a bit of class that I'm not sure others do here. So, yeah, might move it up a bit, who knows. Surface Tension, another that I think is very well suited to its spot, and which I think I will leave there if I can. Confessions, which I think I've realised over time just how clever and funny and off the wall it is in the grand context and sphere of electronic music and bass music in particular. Even though I want to move it up, it's got some pretty fierce competition ahead. Jarvis with Mask, which I found to be a very good experiment from him, and one where the ideas were really good and yeah, just something a bit different from him. I think it pales in comparison to his best tunes. We've got Flight in the time since and a couple of others here and there. So yeah, it's good, but I might move it down just a bit. Resistance by Aerocord, fuck me. Well, very good tune and very inventive and so much better than what he's coming out with at the moment, but still think I wouldn't move it up and I would keep it there firmly just outside the top 10. Destroyed by Ace, one of the most simple and effective Brostep tunes I've ever heard, and very, very well done for how little it does, and hits in the right spot. Would I move it up? Maybe. Might keep it there. Again, lodged just inside the top 10. So, yeah. Zomboy, Young and Dangerous. Now, I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I'm not massive on this tune. I do like it, and I can appreciate what it's good for. But, yeah, it isn't special for me, like a lot of his tunes are. And, for that reason, I think I'm going to have to drop it down a few here. I do like it, a lot of good about it, as I said, but not incredible, especially from him. Tisoki, Haunted by You, which is beautiful and unique. You don't get many songs like it in electronic music, I feel. I think I will leave it there in that position and at that. Rescue Me by Ray Volpe, which I think is another fantastic idea and reflects the theme of the track really well. Again, I can't put it down or up here. I just can't. All of these are in the right positions. You know, Doomsday, which I talked about in my last video, actually. 10 incredible dubstep collaborations. If you're yet to check it out, check it out. Blueprint, yeah, just ahead of it, and Infamous Rebellion just ahead of that. So I am struggling to change anything about here. Now, some of you may be like, Infamous Rebellion, what the fuck is that? And why is it ahead of Blueprint and Doomsday? Well, let me just give you a little taste of it and show you why and how. So good. 2 and 3, I think I would change around. Welcome to Mayhem is such a fantastic song. I was completely obsessed with it in 2017, and I still am, but not quite as much, you know, just a little bit less than I was. And Throwback has grown to become my favourite Virtual Riot original ever, I think. You know, so beautiful, such a fantastic mesh of emotion and heaviness, and yeah, just very gripping as a tune, one of my favourites ever, and yeah, think I'm going to swap those two. And number 1, I think, is going to stay there. Alpha Dogs is one of the most impressively cut and fantastic tunes that I've ever heard, you know. Splicing a load of dog barks over a riveting and gripping bass house beat is just a great idea, and yeah, fully deserving, I think, of its spot there. Yep, I'm leaving it there. Okay, so the revised list, here we go. Alpha Dogs remains at number 1, Throwback goes up into number 2, Welcome to Mayhem at number 3 now. Infamous Rebellion, Blueprint, Doomsday, Rescue Me, and Haunted by You keep their places from 4 to 8. Resistance climbs up into number 9. Ace Destroyed, I think, is in the same position, keeping that top 10 spot. Confessions in a similar place. Zomboy, Young and Dangerous, has gone down a couple. Surface Tension is pretty much the same. Jarvis, Mask, has gone down a couple. Signal is about the same with Big Bass and Jaded. Transmissions is up a couple. Fire Against Fire down 1, I think, but not a lot in it at all. And a new entry as well, as Fatal Helix goes out, and Giant Squiddim by Hero Bust and Monks goes in. Also, I think worth looking at the extra or special mentions here. A couple classics like Chicken Soup and Sahara, and then a couple of unknown that I think are really, really good, like the Wave Mode tune, and also the Jay Robinson and Green Ketchup, which are just fucking brilliant as well. I think it's clear again, my understanding of music has changed a fair bit, even in that 3-year period, and it leaves me wondering once more how it will change again 3 years from now. No doubt it will. Again, a sign that the more you listen, the more experience you get, the more you know, and the more astute your judgment. Also, back then, I was listening to hardly any D&B, and when I get round to all of that over time, that should change up the lists a bit again. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this throwback video. Got a little nostalgia kick out of it, if you will. Again, would love to know your favourites from that year. EPs, originals, remixes, albums, whatever. Drop them down below, and I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Keep it naughty. Peace out.